the dating world we're living in is the result of what it feels like social conditioning, feminism, and some seriously delusional standards, like all rolled up into one. And if you don't understand how we got here, you're going to keep spinning your wheels.
And so we're trying to figure out why, but while we're doing that, I don't think we're having conversations in good faith as of why, because we like to place blame before we can deal with what the problem is. But I often say that responsibility still exists regardless of fault. I don't know why we do this, but it's gotten out of hand.
Up next, Mr.O. No grind, baby. Let's get it. Ay, 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 we on grind. Ay, 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 we on grind. Ay, 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 we on grind.
Wake up and grind, man, to all my haters. Thank God for the win. You just got a second chance. Do something with it, baby. All right, coming back at you again with another video. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. My numbers are going up. Let's keep this train rolling with the content. We've been discussing moving abroad, and we've discussed so far why men are choosing to move abroad. We've talked about the primary 3 reasons. Number 1 being housing cost, the cost of your rent or mortgage going down. Number 2, your food cost, the cost of what you pay for out of your grocery bill and eating out bill food, however you digest monthly. And number 3, transportation, getting around, the car note, the maintenance, the insurance, etc. When you decrease these 3 things, this allows you to either save more or invest more. It's not about what you make a month, it's about what you keep. And that's your real net worth. So switching directions, there's another reason why men are leaving beyond economic reason, and that be the women. I found a video today by Legion of Men. He's discussing in this video titled, Why Men Are Choosing to Go Overseas. I haven't watched this video. I've seen some of his content before, and I'd like to get his perspective or introspect on what he thinks about why men are leaving, and let's see where this video goes. Let me grab a cup of coffee first.
Shot the pot, straight drop, straight drop, straight drop.
And let's get into the video. Before we do that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And in the video, comment below what content you want me to make next and what countries you may like to see me in the future. Hopefully I can collab with some of your favorite content creators. Let's get into the video.
Welcome back, tribe. Been a minute, been gone in Thailand, finally back home. Feels good to be back. And had some thoughts over the last month about the state of modern dating. And we'll start with a big picture. Basically, modern dating in the West. We all know it's a mess. And if you're a man trying to navigate that, you probably notice some things off. Yeah, you're being gaslit by the mainstream media, by social media. Women seem a bit different, especially when you go overseas. You start to notice it's a stark contrast. We've all talked about it plenty of times. You've seen all the videos, I'm sure you have. The rules have changed, and honestly, it feels like the game is kind of rigged against you. Now, I'm not here to bash women, that's not the point, but I am here to tell you the truth, the raw and filtered truth, and that pisses a lot of people off about what's actually going on. It doesn't necessarily have to be from a red pill perspective, but the dating world we're living in is the result of what it feels like social conditioning, feminism, and some seriously delusional standards, like all rolled up into one. And if you don't understand how we got here, you're going to keep spinning your wheels.
So immediately you hear the social constructs and why this is even a conversation to begin with. The reason why this is so prominent and why this conversation has taken on a life of its own is because, if we're being honest, there is a problem. Whether we want to admit it or not, men and women aren't coming together like they used to. We don't have sustainable relationships, and they're based on superficial things created by the social standards of today. In modern times, relationships are failing. And so we're trying to figure out why, but while we're doing that, I don't think we're having conversations in good faith as of why, because we like to place blame before we can deal with what the problem is. But I often say that responsibility still exists regardless of fault. But we like to harp on the fault of this thing. And so when you allow social media into your life and the social constructs that have evolved today in modern dating, we lose a lot of organic reasons why men and women come together in the first place. And it's very simple. We make this shit hard. I don't know why we do this, but it's gotten out of hand.
Frustrated and confused. So let's break it down. Let's talk about why women seem so entitled and how feminism completely rewired the system. and why so many women have standards that, let's be honest, are completely out of touch with reality. I'm not the only one singing this tune. There's like millions of men that talk about this exact issue. So we'll have to start by addressing the first issue. The elephant in the room is the entitlement. You've seen it. You probably experienced it. A woman ghosts you, blinks on plans, acts like you're lucky to even be in her presence. And you're left wondering, like, what the hell? Why does she think she's that special? And here's the thing, actually, counterintuitively, it's not entirely her fault. It's the system. And this is what I've been saying for a long time.
I'm going to agree with that. I don't like to attack the women in this country. I think that's in poor taste. And I would also agree that the way that they are today, if you're out in the world dating, you do feel there's a sense of entitlement on their part. They're just trying to protect themselves, but it's not working because men who have built themselves up to a certain level, they just aren't willing to deal with that. And so we got to shift the mindset. I don't think it's their fault, but yet responsibility still exists.
The sexual marketplace is rigged itself. In the quote red pill world, there's a lot of talk about the sexual marketplace. And the deal is this: women hold the power when it comes to sex. Men hold the power when it comes to commitment. That's just how it works. But here's where it gets messed up. With dating apps and social media, women's perceived value has gone through the roof. And think about it. An average woman can be on Tinder and get hundreds of matches in a day. And we're talking hundreds. Meanwhile, the average guy is lucky if he gets a handful. And that's saying it nicely. Well, there's a lot of dudes that have reported not getting matches for months. This creates an illusion of abundance for women. They're drowning in attention and it inflates their egos. They start to believe that they're all that, even if they're not bringing much to the table themselves. And you should look at the comment section. There's this weird effect in social media where the women that aren't attractive, or let's just say we'll take an example, a super obese woman, morbidly obese, and the comment section underneath will be like, you go queen, slay queen, yes, boss girl, all this, strong independent, hyping up her ego. But then you get an actually attractive woman and the comment section will start to tear her down, mostly from other women. The next stage in this is hypergamy. Women are biologically wired for it. It's basically desire to date or marry up, never down, and maybe on their level. And in today's world, that means they're looking for men who are not just attractive, but also successful, confident, and dominant. The problem, these men are rare, like extremely rare. But women are convinced they deserve one of the high value men, even if they're not high value themselves.
Now, this is a hard metric to swallow. We have this thing called SMV, sexual marketplace value. Yes, women are inherently born with their value. They don't have to do much for it. Just stay in shape, learn some femininity. Don't allow feminism to corrupt you. And if you stay in shape and you're cooperative with a man by bringing him peace, that's what I mean by cooperative. Just being peaceful. You tend to have a lot of value in your hands early on. Not only are you attractive and you bring peace, but you can also help him create a family because your womb is still intact and it's still youthful. Youth is something that you cannot buy. As far as a man, his value in the dating marketplace is going to come from skills that he will have to acquire over a period of time. Being in shape is probably not the primary thing, but being in shape definitely helps a man with his value. He's going to have to gain resources over time, build his network over time, build his money up and wealth over time. This will take a man time and he will make a lot of mistakes doing this. This is why a man in his prime, typically you don't find that to around 35 and up. For a woman, her prime years will be her youthful years. And so when you're thinking about a man and a woman in their primes, two people in their primes make more sense together. This is why the statistics show that most healthy relationships have at least a 10-year gap. Because you want somebody in their prime to be with somebody in their prime. Those two things will automatically attract themselves to one another. But when you allow feminism to corrupt the minds and social media with its narrative to corrupt the minds, you tend to get people looking for shallow and superficial reasons, which is not sustainable.
It's like they're playing the lottery, but they think they're guaranteed to win. And when they don't, they blame men for not being good enough. You gotta be a real man. You gotta step up. And then we have the princess syndrome. That's also an issue. From the time they're little girls, women are told they're special, they're beautiful, they're deserving of the best. And while there's nothing wrong with confidence, the narrative has been taken to an extreme level. And in the constant validation they get on social media, thirsty dudes in their DMs, likes on their selfies, and you got a recipe for entitlement. They've been told they're queens, and now they expect to be treated like royalty. But here's the kicker. They're not bringing queen's energy to the table. They're bringing demands, not value. There's a big difference. And we'll get into how feminism ruined dating. I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm sure it started with good intentions, equal rights, equal opportunities. But somewhere along the way, we know what third and fourth wave has turned into. It took a hard left turn, and now it's completely fucked up the dating dynamics. Masculinity is under attack. Feminism painted traditional masculinity as toxic. Traits like assertiveness, ambition, leadership, stoicism, all the things women are naturally attracted to are now seen as problematic. Hell, even the American Psychological Association deemed all those traits as toxic. Men who embody, and by the way, most of those were women that were working on that research paper. Men who embody these traits are labeled as toxic, guys. While the men who are passive or submissive are praised. It pays to be weak today. They're actively pushing for weak men.
And see, this is part of the reason why men tend to find themselves getting a better deal abroad. It's because this is a Western American mindset that women are adopted. And you tend to find more traditional values, which is more common and sustainable with people who have culture. When we lost our culture here, we lost sustainable family. And that's a problem that we face with today. I think it's very simple. It's easier than what we make it out to be. Just look for a good deal. You want something, I want something. Can we get together and offer each other what we want? Be honest about what we want and be committed to giving each other that. Make a deal with somebody and get old together. I want peace. You want protection. It's really that simple.
The irony is that women still want the masculine traits. They just don't want to admit it. So men are left confused. Do they be themselves and risk being called toxic, or do you play it safe and end up invisible? What's your choice here? Or do you just step out and go your own way from the game completely? We have the shift in gender roles too. Feminism has encouraged, let's be honest, women to prioritize careers and independence over family and relationships. And again, there's nothing wrong with that in theory, but in practice, it's led to a delay in marriage and childbearing. By the time women decide to settle down, they're in their 30s and 40s. And guess what? The pool of eligible men has shrunk. The high value men they were chasing in their 20s, these guys are either taken or not interested in settling down with someone older. And you end up with this imbalance where this pool of eligible men practically disappears. You can no longer get pregnant or struggle to, and you end up in that spinster lifestyle where you're the older woman with the younger boy toy.
Look, man, I don't find any lies in what he's saying. Sometimes the delivery may be harsh or it may not be palatable to most women's ears. They don't want to hear these things. But this independent thing, it's got to stop. Nobody goes through life on their own. Women are the only ones saying they don't need a man, when men will never say they don't need a woman, even though we can get along just fine without having one in the house every day. But the reality is, you really want me to dive in front of a bullet for you. A couple laying in bed and a child in the crib. If there's a noise in the living room, your natural instinct is to protect that child, while mine is naturally to get up and go deal with the problem. Now, whether that's defending the home or laying down my life for the home, it gives you time to secure the child or jump out the back window. I lay down my life for protection for you. All I ask in return is peace. Give me the good deal of having peace. That's all I want. He's gonna get into more. I'm gonna stop the video right here because I really want you guys to watch it. Need you to men. Victim narrative is another topic. The sugar baby, sugar daddy relationship, another topic, which is why men will rather do that than be in an unruly household. He's gonna talk about traditional relationships, which is what we actually want. Women sleeping with more men. Promiscuity that's running rampant in today's world. This is a very interesting video. Everybody should check it out. Regardless, wherever you are in life right now, the options are broader than where you currently live. Men, you can seek a better deal beyond your home borders. Get your passports, unlock your freedom, see what's out there for yourselves, find yourself a good deal. And that's my time. I'm Mr.O, and I'm just living. Stay smooth and keep it player. You dig. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.
3 a.m. booty call, duty call. I'm on the Percocet, so we might go a couple rounds. I got that long stroke, I be weighing out her walls. Her lips on Kylie Jenner, watch me put it in her jaw.